off. Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Martinez, and I am a practitioner for several modalities. First being QHHT, which is my very first one I've ever learned. So, Open to the Universe, QHHT. I just chose Open to the Universe because with holistic healing and just being awake to knowing that there's more is you're really opening yourself to the universe. So today I just really wanted to come on here and talk about being awake, being and what that means, and being awake for me, and knowing what I know is you're waking up to a bigger picture. Understanding our evolution, understanding why we're here. And so it's incredible. And so I do offer other modalities. I am an Akashic record reader. I love Reiki. I can, do Reiki. It's so much fun. And then, of course, these are all my favorite modalities. I just really connected with all of them, mostly Akashic record reading. It came to me so natural, so peaceful, and so easy, and so true nature. I really noticed too as well is that I channel and can feel your emotions or your strongest emotion. And then generally, if you're a starseed, I actually can feel that, then see that they're showing me that you're a starseed and where you're from. And not super detailed, but enough for me to understand your habits. Sometimes our habits and the things we like and the things we tend to lean towards are from other times that we've been in other bodies and other existence, and not even in this atmosphere, Earth. We have been so many places. Star seeds come to basically help each planet evolve. That's really it. That's what a star seed is and what they do. And their soul, and that's their purpose. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, silly little microphone. Because sometimes I want to use my microphone and sometimes I don't. Anyway, it doesn't like when I try to do a microphone. So today I did my meditation. It was beautiful. I was naturally just guided by my angelic angels. And then as well, that is a different realm than the extraterrestrial. They did show me that I am an ambassador for welcoming them to Earth, but not even just that. It's like letting others know that they're here for love and compassion and to help us grow. And that's it. We have free will. We can do whatever we want. We don't have to connect to them when they come, but that's the whole goal, is to raise your vibration, and that's raising it to be the best you can be. What's your best version of yourself? You can always be better than where you're at in the moment. But remember also, this is a master class. Earth being here is a master class. It's not easy. You're going to have it's like you're in this crazy maze with lots of distractions. You have a lot of things going on, a lot of distractions. We got brought up certain ways to believe certain things. Some people weren't even able to really meditate because you're just not, you've been so much in the ego, so much in your one mindset, that to go beyond that and meditate and surrender to this beautiful light and love energy that's going within yourself, in your own heart chakra, and then out into the world. Because if you can't do that and it doesn't work out for you like that, that means you're learning a lesson of what it feels like to be completely pulled from the source where you are originated from, that loving part of yourself, the all-knowing part of yourself. Um, and when you're pulled very far from that, it can keep you in the dark. It can make you feel like you can't just meditate and be surrender, and you look at it as like it's foolish to do that. And um, that's most people's state of mind. And I just feel like, as the light worker, uh, and I've been in that state of mind too, and I go back to that state of mind because it's not easy, even as the light worker, as someone who's constantly having to work on themselves to keep them balanced, to keep centered, to keep putting the message out. I admire anyone who can continuously do that without any flaws. It's not easy, because we do have the ego. We need the ego. We love the ego. Like, it keeps us alive. It keeps us fed. It keeps us going. It keeps us going to work. Or it just keeps us in that 3D reality, which is just fine. That's why we came here. We came here for this experience. We came here to see what it would be like. We all have our own lessons to learn. I guess really mainly it's becoming aware that you're so much more. You're so much more than what you give yourself credit for. We just talked about it. It's, instead of critiquing yourself and instead of coming down on yourself, say, you know what? At least I gave it my all. At least I was aware enough to give it my all. Yeah, I didn't do very well there. Or this happened. But looking at it in a different aspect, at least you gave it your effort. At least you put energy towards it. And so to become aware like that right there, and then to just notice that these things are coming at you, whatever your lesson is. And it could be relationships, it can be learning how to have a relationship with your own self. So we've all, we not we all, there's quite a bit of people, the trauma and we lose people, and what does that feel like, and what does that do to us, and it shifts us. So not looking at it in a bad way, which we are here for emotions, and it feels so real. It's looking at it in this light of love, of knowing that the only thing real is love. And it's not easy to be in that state of mind. And just continue being that great person who's always uplifting people. And just know that that's not your job to uplift people, and to just know that it's only your job to uplift yourself and love yourself and center yourself. It's not your job to change the world. Not at all. That's not why we came here. It's your job to wake up in your dream, center yourself, surrounded by love and light. My silly little microphone keeps popping on. And just staying centered, knowing that, good is coming your way, having the affirmation of the law of the universe of affirmation. So you would be like law of affection, law of cause and effect, law of, oh my goodness, how did I forget this one? Law of vibration, just sending out this ping into the universe by saying, it's always going to work out for me. It's always good for me. So when you do that, you also have to match your heart. So a lot of people don't have those two connections going on. So you're bridging this heart-centered what you feel, because just like most of us, we go, oh yeah, right, there's no way. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be centered and happy. So when you're doing that, what are you feeling? I think that really is the ticket. It's like when you're saying this, when you're saying these affirmations, what do you really feel in your heart? So those are the things you're trying to balance and match. So if you're saying it, it's almost like when you sing a song. Some of these songs really match some people's lives. And you really have to pay attention to that, because what it's doing is sending that out into the universe. And so if it's a dramatic song like, oh, I lost my boyfriend and he's never coming back, and, just some silly little things like that, which I know they're not silly to some of us because they mean a lot. But I'm just being sarcastic, I know. Sorry. But I'm just using really that as an example. That's going out into the universe and pinging back to you, causing that to actually be your affirmation and then your life, because you are a creator. You you hold the power of God in you. You hold Jesus in you. They won't come here physically, but they will be within you, and you're opening that up into the universe, to the world, showing this ping to the universe that you're awake, that you understand that what comes into your mind, what comes out of your mouth, and then your heart, it all matches. So love and light, and then you say something like love and light, then your heart matches love and light. There you go. Because you believe it. It's really your belief system. And that's why I say with like when we sing songs, that's why you have to really be careful, because the thing is you're saying them out loud. Go into the universe, which we are connected. We are one with the universe. We hold the universe within us. And so if we're saying that out loud and we're singing these songs and we're watching the movies, they're keeping us in that 3D subliminal messages, ones that we don't realize that are manipulating us. That would be my best description of it, is manipulation. And I've kind of like boycotted some of the movies. I don't like some of the directors, what they're doing in this underground stuff that we know very little about, but they're very high powered and rich. And I just question that. And there is some subliminal messages in some of these movies that some people feel so drawn to be so sucked into it. And once you break yourself free from it, you start to see that that's what it does. It just manipulates you and it programs you. It's literally programming you the way they want you to be programmed, versus this beautiful being that was able to come into a body and then experience what it's like to live and enjoy traveling and enjoy different foods and enjoy different relationships and just experience what it's like to be human in a good way. I think that that's the coolest part, when you come at it with pure positivity, pure understanding of knowing this higher dimension, this higher light that comes into you, and generally just ends up loving you so much that you can't but help but love yourself so much and appreciate that you're here right now, the here and now. And if you saw the line to get into being a human body, you would be so thankful that you were chosen right here, right now, in the most biggest event ever. And that's the Great Awakening. And this is the most incredible time to be here. Absolutely. Just everything I've learned and everything that I've taken in has all been love and all been light and positivity and uplifting, and knowing that you're just as great as any next person next to you. You don't need a title. You don't need to be born in a certain religion or body, or it's just the whole fact that you're in the body, that this is your dream, that you're dreaming. And it's just like they say, you can be anything you want. It's the same thing as if you were dreaming. So you can dream of anything, you can dream of being anything, anyone. And sometimes our dreams are goofy. Yes, I know, because that is sometimes your fears coming out of you that you haven't released. And so they're just coming out, covering up the true journey of your soul. So your soul's off, awake, not necessarily detached from the body, but definitely a silver cord, um, that it can go anywhere it wants in the universe and still be connected, and have a silver cord connected to the body while the body rests and sleeps, because that's what the ego needs. The soul never sleeps, it never rests, it doesn't need it. It's eternal, it's perfect always. And I've had some past lives. I thought this was really interesting. So in our session today, we meditate in a group and it's beautiful. HappyLionCenter.com. It's wonderful. And I have so much fun doing it. And when I was in there today, they showed me a lot of things. Actually, first I saw myself going into this other dimension. I felt like I was a tree, and then I came out in the middle of the tree. I came out of it, like it opened up a door. And then I was in this realm where I actually saw some of the people that have passed away that I so dearly miss and love, and know that they're okay, of course. But I saw them and they were beautiful and they were perfect. And they said, wow. And they started talking to me, like, finally, you're here. I've been looking for you. And so they were talking to me and telling me how peaceful they are and how happy they are and how comfortable they are, and and just how happy they were to see me, and that we were communicating. And then I saw someone who is here in the physical that I need to connect to, and that they sent me to him. Higher self guided me to him, and wow, his is incredible. A Mayan higher self, he's on his next journey of just releasing emotions he doesn't need. But as he keeps going, sometimes these emotions have caught up with him, where he's holding emotions on for, it was like, oh gosh, I could see so many lives that he was trying to release it, but it just wasn't releasing. He was just gathering more emotions that he didn't need. Um, and as well in this life too. And he's an older person, and so I need to connect to him, and really, as I'm not trying to change the world or save the world or anything like that. This is more of just love and compassion. They were just showing me that there's no one around him that has the vibration that they, like, I met their vibration, their energy, frequency. I met that. I went up to that, and um, and that's what they told me. And they said that thinks there's no one else who would do this, who would give him the message. We really need him to have the message. And it's really just releasing energy he doesn't need before he leaves that body, because there's no other way to break the cycle. So I thought that was beautiful. And then, then they showed me them, the extraterrestrial. It's going to be the Nordic Whites. It's going to be the Hedes. They're all white. They're beautiful. They're the cousins to the Palladians. The Palladians, have a Palladian life, so I already have the connection. Um, I'm also Andromedan, from the Andromedan galaxy, so I also have that connection there. And they're coming. Well, they're here, but as well as I'm reaching that best version of myself that will meet their version, that they'll be already there, and it's not going to be for a couple more years, but I'm working on that now. And it's just a passion. that I love, that I'm so excited and I'm so anxious to have. And it will change my life forever, of course. I'm never going to be the same after that, which I understand. And that's something I'm working towards just for my own evolution, my own goal. And this is what's so fun, is that you can choose whatever you want, whatever resonates with you, and just really keep climbing this ladder of having fun, picking things that are coming your way. Because if you would have asked me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if I was Akashic record reading, channeling, I would have told you no way. I would have said there's no way possible. I used to work at a bank, and my mind was so left-brained where I was like, there's no way I'm meditating. I don't even know what that is, what that means, uh, let alone connect to some beings that aren't physically, you know, out of in the outer space. It's like, wait a minute. So it's amazing how far I've came, what version I'm in now. I've shifted. Um, Love and light, I've just shifted. I've shifted to this better version of myself that offers that in my life. And that's what's really amazing. Also, I had some releasing towards the end. I was talking about releasing and centering and staying in the heart. I actually have had several past lives of, as I probably just trying to release emotions, but I've had several past lives of some ones that I probably don't need to say out loud, but it had to do with my back, and you could never touch my back. You barely put your hand on my back, and it felt like someone was like whack, whack. Like, so I've had some crazy emotional scars on there, I think. And you could hardly touch my back. It's that sensitive. But I put my hands on my back the best I could, and I healed it and released it, and light and love to those lives, and that they could go on, and that they don't have to be so attached to me anymore, and that if I need them, they're there. But that was only to show me that I was so far away from the source, how it felt to not be connected to the source, and to really feel like I was detached and I had to survive. And I thought that was amazing. So that was a really beautiful session today. So I was just able to release it. This is the other really cool part is the more I go through my life, the more I am awake by being aware, right? So my current father, his wife is Laura. My current father in this life, his wife is Laura. Okay, wow. All right, no big deal. Sure. So, doing my Akashic records, I have met people in my past lives who I have no relationship with hardly at all in this current life. So, I had a Southern life, and I had a father, and he was the best thing ever, and I was cherished by him. Well, my soul with another life. This is a whole nother life, right? And I'm just telling you my aspect of it, my perspective of it. Well, my higher self is so cool. It let me know it. It eventually lined me up with him, and I had to wait until he went through a transformation to actually meet him. There was one other time I was going to meet him, but something happened where I couldn't meet him. And so I was like, okay, and that was several years ago. Well, he went through a horrible near death accident. I still never thought I would ever talk to him again or whatever. And well, it's neat how the universe aligns you and how it's time for you to know certain people. And so I did an Akashic record reading on a gentleman who came from California. And so, perfectly good stranger is my point. He was the father who I could love and like had I just can't even. He was the father of that girl who is a past life of me, who I was the girl, but not Jennifer me. I know it's complicated. Oh gosh, I'm making it more complicated than it is, but I just don't want to be attached to it as Jennifer. I want to be attached to it as that's my soul. It experienced this. But anyway, he came to me and he was so open and so aware and so awake that it was exactly what it needed to be so that he could receive a message. And that is then where it showed me that he was that father to me. And I cried because the love was there. But then, wow, he's just a stranger in this life. Holy, no relation, no nothing, stranger. I'm amazed. I mean, and then anyway, my whole point was his wife's name's Laura. That was really it. It was like my dad's name's Laura and his wife's name's Laura. So wow, boom sauce. That was amazing. Um, but I just love how the universe really actually works for you. Hi, thanks for coming on. Um, I just always get so surprised at when you start to really become awake and aware, you're really on this synchronicity of the universe. And synchronicity is just showing you that it's like crumbs that you're following down a path. Like that's the universe saying, yes, there is no path. We can go any path we want, but there is a path. At the same time, it's really surreal. It's like a path of knowing that you're on the right, you're in the right, you're feeling good, you know that the things you're choosing are right, they're working for you. And it's not about being selfish when I say they're working for you and everything's for you. It's this centeredness that you're trying to create that is so divine for yourself. That way, when things come your way, there's synchronicity. So it's things that then you start to go, wow, I didn't think I could actually do that. So for me, Akashic record reading in my in my whole life, I never thought I could ever be an Akashic record reader. To me, that is like you need to be Buddha, you need to be Mother Teresa, you need to be Jesus. I mean, not a regular person. That's was always my mindset, right? But I think over time of me meditating and surrendering that thought and just knowing that I am much more than that I give myself credit for. Wow, I actually can do that. I actually feel like I channel people already. I actually feel like sometimes I can hear your thoughts. I can feel your feelings. Um I started to become aware of it because when I would be in a group setting, I would think these things, right? And I'd be like, wow, I'm all of a sudden feeling a little anxiety. Well, then someone else would talk and they would say, yeah, I have anxiety today. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I was feeling it. And then today we have a new person and I already felt like she was a star seed from Sirius A. Sirius A was one of the bigger planets of A, B, and C for Sirius. And when I would look at her, I started to feel it. And then all of a sudden, everything that she said matched exactly if you were a starseed from Sirius. And so I've only learned this because of the Akashic Records. I've learned that we are so much more. We are multidimensional beings, that we come here for the experience, and it's not going to be easy. That's why you have guardians on the other side. That's why you have angels. They're in a different realm than the extraterrestrial, but they're all right there because they knew they had to have an orchestra to help us awaken, but not panic. It's like, don't panic. Don't really freak out, you know? So it's literally this beautiful orchestra when you meditate, when you surrender, when you open your heart. But it's not easy for people to open their heart. I've met so many people who have a heavy heart who say, I'm numb. I don't feel. How do you open your heart? right? So I've come across lots of people like that. And what I think I always say to them is, can you tell yourself you love yourself? Do you honestly love yourself? Then you start there, because you've got to love yourself enough to put the effort in to go from A to B. And that means acknowledge that you can actually meditate, acknowledge that you can actually connect to source. And it's not easy at first. Definitely. We have some new people in our group and they're in that boat of, oh, I don't know if I see anything. I don't think that that's necessary. That's not necessary for you to see anything right away. Some of us do right away. And that's just because we've played with our imagination in some way, somehow. So if you played with your imagination, that'll actually activate seeing the other side. But if you think you're just going to close your eyes and see something, probably not. But if you start to practice, and I mean by just closing your eyes and seeing something you already know. So closing your eyes and seeing where you work. Obviously, you know where the doors are. Obviously, you know where the desk is, or whatever it is that you're doing, driving, truck, whatever. I don't know why I said that, but I just mean whatever is your job, you could close your eyes and say, oh yeah, yep, I see where you walk in, I see the building. And that's what I think I love to teach people about their imagination, because I think once you start to exercise that muscle in your mind, because it does, it's like use it or lose it. So it's the same as if you want abs, if you want those abs and you want them ripped, you certainly can't just be like, well, no, I was thinking it. So it's exactly the same kind of thing. It's just a different muscle and it's just a different way of exercising. Um, but once you actually go into it and you actually connect by just the birthday party, the celebration you had, the goodbye party, you can work on those, seeing them in your mind at any given time. You can do that 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever works for you. And then next, finding something that once you have that part down, just finding something that's really that connects to you. I feel like once you start to ask the universe, okay, send me more great things come my way, send me more meditations that work for me, send me more. I mean, when you start connecting to this love and light and this universe, literally, of course, but you don't want it all at once. So you're like, please just give it to me gradually as I go through life. Because as we go through life, Earth is a master school. You wouldn't even be here if you weren't already a master, because honestly, there's no other way. That's why most people can't stay. That's why they leave the body. That's why they let it get sick or whatever, mentally ill. I just heard someone say that, sure, you can exercise, eat right, and have the best body. But if your mind isn't right, you could still die just a blink of an eye, because your mind isn't right. Your emotions are everything on planet Earth. Planet Earth is emotions and limitations. So you're limiting yourself constantly and you have nothing but emotions. So if you can balance those two things, you start to master what it's like to be a human, and master in a fun way, because the other side is loving, so they always want it to be fun for you and loving and joyful. And I know that some people are like, oh, that's impossible, how can you stay joyful all the time and loving all the time? And you can't. There's no way. I get it. I understand that. I have my own moments of, darn, that didn't work, or is this going to be a good day? Or I have my own, as we all go through life, we have our own little struggles and our own little detours. And people pass away. Last year was really quite interesting with people passing away, but I look at it as they were all finished, and that as we keep going into the future, we're going through the eye of the needle, so we're shedding any emotions we don't need. We really can't fit through the eye of the needle with all these heavy, dense emotions, because that was the whole soul's journey of coming into the body, is to be able to release it. but it gets sticky in 3D, very, very sticky. You're in like this gel, you're in this sludge, and you're just like, oh, it's so exhausting to try to do light and love. It's so exhausting, right? So it's really an exercise to get you out of that sludge and just see yourself swim out of that sludge, that you are that powerful, and that when you get to the top, you feel so light and so free. And so, okay, I can do this. Yeah, life's going to come at me. That's okay. But I have love and I have compassion. And at least I'm honest in my own heart and honest to my own self that the things that come to me, I may need to learn them. And if it's repeated and repeated and repeated, they're just trying to say, hey, you guys, wake up, wake up. And so it's something you haven't quite learned. And this is the other thing. It's really, really important when you live in a city where there's lots of people and lots of energy. You really need to protect yourself in the white light, and that's just you saying to yourself, "I am always protected mentally and physically in this beautiful white light as I go out into the public, as I go out to the grocery store, to the bank, to the post office, as I exist." Because the thing is all their emotions are going into each other. You guys are all getting everyone's emotions, because you have to remember we are an emotional being. The human is. And that's why we came here to experience it. You can live it more joyfully if you protect yourself in this beautiful white light. You really can. Otherwise, and this is what I experienced just recently. I was in the city for a couple of weeks. And boy, and I live in the mountains. I live really where there's no people. It's quite amazing. I think there's only about 1,000 people where I live, and we're all spread out. Um, I'm surrounded by trees, and so I'm able to center myself better. Not that I was aware of this at first. It took me like forever to become really aware that they centered me here while I centered me here. Yeah, I had some emotions, but I'm a light worker. I'm here. I'm already awake. Basically, I'm just going to be standing with you guys. So when you all wake up, you're not alone. You're not alone. We already woke up. So it's okay. It's this ease that you'll actually feel as you wake up and become aware. You're not going to be in a panic, because there's so many light workers who are there to give you love and light and say, it's okay. You just woke up. Not too scary. Not too scary, because you would be terrified without light workers. You would just be terrified to wake up to the reality that it isn't true what you're seeing. It's this innerness. Yeah. And it's literally so beautiful to have this, to stay centered. Really, it just is. And whatever you want to experience, you get to experience. That's the thing. That's the thing about being human. You're here to experience it. You're here to have a multi-dimensional experience. You're not supposed to just be one thing and never change. You're supposed to change. That's the growth. So if someone says stay the same, that's the worst advice they could ever tell someone. It's okay to change, because you're always changing to the better you. At least that's generally the passion and the goal of it. And to know that you are enough, and to know that you are worthy of anything that comes your way, and to know if you want to be an Akashic record reader, or if you want to be a light worker, not light worker, but a light language practitioner doing light language. Some people resonate to that light language, and that's beautiful. And really, it's just a vibration that comes into you, and you're expressing it through either the energy coming out of it with your hands or your mouth and giving a message. So that is also what I got from my friend today. She was new, and I was feeling her really resonate with light language, and I love it. And I love, I have that connection. I love that my mind has expanded. It lets me know my growth, um, of just having that connection and knowing it's coming to me, and that I I don't always need to do something with it. There was a point where I'm trying to balance it. Do I give you a message? Do I tell you your message right now? Or do I just reserve it when it's the right time for you to receive a message? That's something I'm working on, because if I feel something and I see you, I want to give you that message because they've been trying to give you a message for a very long time. And sometimes it just takes coming from a different person to give you that message. So coming from me, and I don't hardly know you, and things like that. It doesn't matter. We're all connected on the other side. We're all one. Um, that's the amazing part. It's almost like when you look at the animal world, it's like the bees, they're all one. The ants, they're all one because they're all connected internally. And that's the same with us. I love that. I think that's really neat. And just know that you're amazing and that you're majestic and so many ways. Like, we come from so far away. We have all these different aspects of ourselves. We just give ourselves credit for just us being the one thing. We think we're just the one thing, and that's not true at all. We're so much more than. And that's what I love. And I just felt like I wanted to share that message today. Coming out of my meditation, I felt so drawn to give you that message. Here we are in 2024. It's absolutely going to be a beautiful year as we keep growing towards them coming, well, and us connecting to them. They're already here, obviously, in another dimension. But it's us getting to that dimension as well as them coming to our dimension. And so just really us meeting them in the middle. And some of you may not want to do that, and that's okay. And just know that it's always love and it's always compassion, and that it's not going to be any other way. And if you see another way, that's because they're trying to manipulate it. There is the dark side. This is the planet of yin and yang, good and evil. So you really need to find that. That's the one thing I love about it. It's like there is a neutral spot, and you can be in that middle. It's where you're not on either side. It's where you don't get sucked into the illusion that you need to be on one side or the other. So that's the illusion, is that they want you to be like, oh, you have to be on this side. Oh, you have to be on this side. So it's always going to be another force trying to pull you out of this neutral part of yourself. So you're in this neutral spot where religion doesn't matter. Politics don't matter. You're in this neutral spot. And that's then where you can stay centered. And yeah, things happen. You're going to get sad. There's the emotions of it, or mad, or angry, or whatever the emotion is. But it's not staying in it for too long, is the power. It's like, yeah, you can feel it, express it, but know that that was a moment in time. And now the moment has passed, and you give it love and grace, and really just have faith that you can go through each thing gracefully. And it's not easy. Definitely not. It's going to take work, and it's going to take you becoming aware, and just really, it's a surrender. It's like when you surrender, you won't question it. Remember the voice that's talking to you. If it's a loving voice, if it's always something that's trying to say, hey, this is neutral, this is loving, that's the voice you want to listen to. But if it's anytime critiquing you, putting you in a bad state of mind, that's the other side. That's the darker force, which everyone calls it the ego. We want to love the ego. We don't need to bash the ego, because that is a part of us. That's why I say we're a multidimensional being. There's more than just one part of us. You stub your toe. Obviously, that's not going to feel good, and you're not going to be like, yay, that was so great. I love stubbing my toe. No, certainly not. But it's, and you might say a few words you don't want to say out. Your toe might be black and blue. And what does that mean? It means you aren't listening, really. Your angels are like, hey, wake up. But it does happen. And they are messages. Accidents don't happen for no reason. There's always a reason. Hearing my messages is a meant to. You were meant to hear them, meant to start to wake up to it, meant to keep evolving. Your soul's on a journey, and just really enjoying the journey. I think that's the biggest, is enjoying the journey that you're on, and to know that this is reality that you've created, but also that this is a dream. It's so so much to it. It is and it isn't. It's very simple. And then at the same time, there's lots to learn. There's lots to learn and lots to take in, and lots of people are talking right now, and lots of people are connecting, and it's just really just enjoying it and loving it, and finding your tribe, finding who you mesh with, finding a group of people, and it's funny because groups to me, I've never been a fan of. I don't know where it stems from. I don't know how far back it goes for my soul, but I've never been a fan of groups. I don't know why. I think it's because you have a lot of personalities. You have other people reflecting themselves on you. Some people get jealous because you're at a certain level, and they're not, and it isn't meant to be like that. And I guess if I project any of that, I mean, I would say it right away. Because my journey, my goal is to be equal. As I grew up very in poverty, just I just didn't have anything, and that's okay, but it gave me a different perspective of life. um, I had to work for everything I gotten. And now I'm at the point where I work with the universe, and the universe always sends me whatever I need. So I always have enough. And I know in my heart, I always have enough. I never have to worry about. It's because this is where I've gotten myself, because I've worked on myself for the last, even, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years, um, where I've gotten it because prior, it was always a struggle. It was a struggle to eat. It was a struggle to have a car. I had to walk everywhere. Um, and we had snow where I grew up, and it was just horrible. I remember the blizzards, and I remember the cold. And even in that aspect, it's okay because it was all meant to be. And it was meant for me to release some baggage when I was a kid, and it's okay. Like, those things did happen to me, but that doesn't make or break me. It if anything, made me appreciate where I am now, appreciate life, appreciate that my soul is in a body, and appreciate that I can go and experience whatever I want. Sure, I don't have lots of money to go and do whatever I want, but maybe I will, and maybe it will come to me. And I have faith that if I need to go experience the world, I could, and I will. And if I don't, then I'll just be here talking on my podcast, giving you guys amazing, loving messages. And I feel like that's part of my journey too, as well. And so, really, my message today is to just go within yourself, center yourself to the heart chakra. That's one of the most, well, I mean, all 7 chakras are very important, but I would say the heart chakra holds the emotions that tend to be stuck, with a self-love, loving your own self. And why can't you? And what have you done that maybe blocks you from loving yourself? And really forgiving others from the past, letting go of the past, knowing that it's over with, it's done with. There's nothing you can do about the past. You can never go back and fix it. But it's like being like, okay, you taught me this. Now I'm surrendering it. I forgive you. And letting it go and moving on into the future to a different you. And that's you reaching the best version of yourself. And I think that's really my message today is to go within, to center yourself with the heart chakra, and see if you can feel it. See if you can feel this vibration through the whole body and into the universe. Ping that out into the universe and ping it back to you. And you can do this with your mind. You can do it by saying it out loud and holding your hand over your heart, and just really connecting to the universe. Hi. Thanks for coming on, you guys. I really appreciate it. Just totally in this beautiful zone um, of love and compassion, and we're in 2024. And what does that look like for you guys? And where are you at this point in your lives? Do you feel the shift? Do you feel, as you're going through the eye of the needle, do you feel you shedding emotions in the past? What people have done to you, what you've done to people? Shed it, get it off. It's almost like we need that layer off of us, but giving it love and compassion and understanding that it was just a lesson, and that it is what it is, and forgiveness for your own self. And you may not need to go to these people and say, I need you to forgive me, or I forgive you, or blah, blah, blah. No, you do it within yourself. You do it within your heart. You may have to write it out. You may have to say it out loud. But it'll do something for you. It'll hook you up individually, hook you up, hook your heart up. And I just feel this connection for you already. I feel like this message needs to go out there, as it's time for you to wake up and you to be your true self and your gift to the world. What do you have? What is your gift? Because I never knew my gift. I just thought I was just a girl. Here I am doing my thing, and to know that I'm a messenger of God. I'm a messenger of the source of the extraterrestrial. I'm here to give everyone a message that they don't quite hear, because see, also, this is the other thing, is they're not going to tell you word for word a message. They're going to give you analogies. So anytime you hear an analogy, really pay attention to that, because that generally is the higher self coming through someone else and giving you a message. Your car, a sign that you see, like you could be talking about something that you're trying to debate. All of a sudden you see this big giant sign that has a little left arrow or a little right arrow or a stop sign. That's a message. They are giving you an analogy. They're saying, oh, go left, oh, go right. Not literally, but in an aspect, yes. Or stop, or maybe don't proceed with that person anymore. Or so remember that they're giving you analogies, and that is the best. And when we pay attention to those kind of messages, those are your synchronicities that you're down the right path. So always choosing things with joy, always choosing them with excitement, being like, wow, this is going to be so fun. It's okay to choose joy. It's okay to choose things that are fun. I think that's the, like, I think that's the hiccup, is that we kind of got brought up to, no, you got to choose things you don't like, because that's just the way of the world. And that's not true. I don't like that. I've never liked it. I feel like that's not right at all. I feel like choosing joy, choosing fun things that match us, choosing where you get so excited to go to work. I mean, we have to do something, and it's finding that glitch and finding what we're actually really excited about, and just doing it, and not caring if we're level oh, I'm the top of the class. I mean, you don't have to do that. You just do it. Just do it with excitement. And if you're at the top, hooray. That just means you've done it with so much pure excitement that you're at the top, but not making it like, oh, I'm the top 10 and yeah, you're a newbie, so you don't know anything. That's a big deal too, is being like, oh, I'm above you. And that's why I always express that one too, because I think that that's where most mentalities are, like, oh, I'm a doctor, or I'm a nurse, or oh, I'm this or that, and you're this title, and that's just their ego, because really, I mean, we're all equal, and the second they leave that body, they're just as equal as anyone else, So you're not going to have a title on the other side. You're not going to be the doctor. You're not going to be the nurse. You're not going to be the police officer, whatever. And not to knock them. That's great that you have that passion and desire. We need them. We need doctors and nurses and all of them. And I appreciate them. And I appreciate that they have the desire to do those jobs. Um, and so I'm not knocking them, but also you don't need a title to exist, to be amazing, to be attractive to others. I think that's an illusion. I think that's the biggest here right now, is that we're under this huge illusion. Almost everything we see right now outside of our eyes is an illusion. And so when we master the illusion, knowing that time doesn't exist, you leave this planet. Time does not exist. There is no time. There just isn't. And we're here to experience what time is, and that's great. But knowing that it isn't real, that's the best part. And knowing that you can manipulate time anytime you want. So if you're always like, oh, I'm going to be late. Oh, I only have 10 minutes. I'm going to be late. Guess what? You're going to be late. Or you wake up and you're centered and you're like, I have 10 minutes. Perfect. I'll be right on time. Yeah, I have 10 minutes. I have probably this much traffic, blah, blah, blah. And you make it and you're still right on time. That's the beauty of it. So that's the law of attraction. That is that law of vibration where it pings out into the universe, because in your heart, you are centered. And some people have the panic, oh, I don't want to be late. So you have to check yourself, because if you do that panic, that's going to be the most powerful part. That's how powerful you are. And it's going to be the most powerful part where it goes, oh gosh, I'm going to be late. So that pings into the universe. Guess what? Then you'll be late. There won't be enough time. But if you make time work for you, that's the cool part. You always have enough time. There's plenty of time. When you do that, there's always enough time for you. There's always enough time for you to do what you need to do and get where you need to get to, and not feel so like, and when you do feel that way, that's when you know you're not centered. When you feel frazzled, when you feel unsure of, you're not centered, and that's that. And so center yourself again. It may take a couple minutes. Some people need more than a couple minutes. But some people can do it in a couple minutes, Get this is the other thing. If you're attracted to crystals, so gemstones, amethyst, emeralds, any of those, start to collect them. See what stones are calling you, and those will enhance. So those will definitely enhance the frequency for you. And if you're from a Adromanin, you'll really feel that you'll need it for enhancement. And if you're from Sirius, you'll want to use it as a healing modality, as you'll use the crystals to heal others. Because as a starseed, that could be just something that you guys are drawn to, but unsure of. So really, it's just going to crystal places, that have crystals and gems, and just see what one kind of calls to you, whatever stone it is, whatever gem it is. I love that part. I think that's so amazing. When I started doing that, it just, before I knew it, I have so many, and I feel like they're individually calling me, because there's so many already out there, and it's like a little overwhelming. What ones do you pick? What ones this, that? I always center myself, and then I'm like, what one's calling me? So it's fun. I love it. So that's something I love to do. And then I've just followed my passion of doing Akashic record readings. I love them. They're so fun. And I love connecting to the other self. And yeah, so it's pretty fun. Definitely. So I was going to say, here is my, thank you. Here's my email. I do Akashic record reading online. So Jen, yep. I love it, love it, love it. I as well do QHHT, which is quantum healing hypnosis technique. You can go into past lives, current life. I can do this online. So it's another, I love doing everything online. It's so much fun. It's so easy. And it just comes right to me. And so if you guys ever want a reading or a session or Reiki, I love doing all of it. It's just truly my passion. So you can visit me. You can either go to happylioncenter.com or you can go to my email, jen-mwys@outlook.com. And yeah, so it's fun. I love it. It's truly my passion. And oh, it's just good. And I just want to thank you guys so much for listening to me. I really appreciate all the downloads. I really appreciate you choosing my my podcast to listen to. There's millions of people to listen to. So I really appreciate that, like, wholeheartedly. I couldn't thank you. I like, yeah, it makes me emotional because, at the very beginning, as we all do this, like, you're not worthy enough, right? And we all do this at one point in our lives where we're like, oh, there's no way I could do this. No one likes me. So I really appreciate you guys coming on and downloading. I have so many downloads. Over 6,000. That's incredible. Like, when I just looked, I'm in shock because it just was like, yep, it's the universe. Really? Guys, that's so sweet. I appreciate that, like, so much. And so, yeah, thank you. That's huge for me. It just makes me feel so, like, uplifted and, like, joyful, and I know as I'm going through the eye of the needle, as I'm going into the future, that would be my goal for everyone, is to feel the same way as I'm feeling: joyful, loving, awake, knowing I'm much more than, knowing that I have angels, knowing that I am enjoying being in a body here on earth with all of you guys. I mean, yeah, we don't know each other in person, but we know each other. There's this deep connection we all have with each other, and I appreciate that. And I just want you guys to have a great day and a happy new year, and stay centered. And when you feel not centered, that can be your indication of being like, oh, I got to get back there. I got to get centered. It'll just make life more enjoyable for you and lead you down that beautiful, loving path that we're all meant to be on and experience. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. I'm definitely going to go to your podcast too and connect with you. And I appreciate all your love. And yeah, so there's that. Perfect. I'm following you now. Awesome. Thank you so much for popping in on me today. I'm going to go. I'm also a senior caregiver, so I'm going to go on my way and take care of one of my seniors. And okay, good. I will. I'll definitely come and have a conversation. I would love that. It would be so much fun. Perfect. Okay, well, take care and have a really great day, and namaste.